Hello guys, here on your favorite channel, Climbing All. How to make liquid chalk easily, cheaply, and simply at home. We're going to stop here. And we're going to spread it on our hands because I just made this. And done, just like that. And the hands are completely covered with chalk. And today I'm going to teach you how to make this at home easily and cheaply. A short announcement. Finger strength and Tindeq course lasts 5 hours. Finger strength planning course lasts 7 hours. The videos are already recorded, so if you want them, you can buy and watch them immediately. And if you also want to train with me, just write to me on Instagram, whether it's for the Tindeq finger strength courses, finger strength planning, or if you want to train with me. You need to be clear that if you're going to make liquid chalk, it has advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is that it covers your hands very well. In all the nooks and crannies, it covers your hands very, very well, okay? That you will save a lot of money on chalk. Why? Because it's exactly just what you need, okay? And in a way, if you do bouldering, it will be very convenient because you'll carry this little bottle and the chalk adheres so well to your hands that it's perfectly enough for a boulder problem. That's not a problem, okay? The other advantage is that since little chalk is used and it tends to adhere to your hands, the chalk that ends up floating around your boulder, your climbing gym, okay, is minimal. So this is theoretical. It is assumed that there would be a smaller amount of chalk floating in the air, which would reduce the risk of inhaling it and potentially developing something in the medium or long term, such as pulmonary fibrosis. The disadvantage is that it is alcohol. And as such, you need to know that you cannot use this chalk if you have wounds or on your hands, if you have wounds on your hands, or if your hands are very delicate. In that aspect, alcohol can be very harmful, and alcohol tends to dry out the skin more. So also in that regard, it can be much worse, and all these cracks that one sometimes has on the hands can worsen. So it cannot be used on all hands. Obviously, if you have a very large wound, ideally you should not climb, not to avoid the liquid chalk, but rather not to climb. But mainly it's for wounds. It cannot be used on wounds, or yes, it can be used, but talk about, for example, the typical wounds that occur here on the fingers. When you apply this liquid chalk, they hurt, okay? And that's mainly it. The chalks, liquids sold commercially have more components, and it's some of those components, that can be worse. In this case, it's simply dehydrated alcohol at 70%, and that is practically harmless for the vast majority of climbers. So now, knowing the pros and cons, we are going to make the chalk as it should be. What you need is super simple. It's simply alcohol. In this case, it will be 70% alcohol. It's a liquid alcohol. You can use gel alcohol too. But I think this is very cheap. This is going to cost like €1, no more than that. It's 250 milliliters, but 70% alcohol, all good, okay? You're going to need magnesium, magnesium powder. You can use magnesium blocks, but you're going to have to give it a go there. Work to grind it well and pass it through something that removes the small pieces, and you will need a bottle. In this case, I have this 1 liter bottle with a rather wide neck to be able to put in the what's it called? The chalk and nothing else. You don't need anything else, guys. So let's see how it's done. It's that simple. Your little bottle, we open it, okay? This one had a bit already. I had already had magnesium, so I washed it a bit, and there was a residue of alcohol. We pour our alcohol in there. There, all set. I poured about 200, a little more than 200 cc, okay? So Here we have our alcohol, and we need to take our magnesium. And the ratio is more or less like 2 parts alcohol to 1 part magnesium, more or less. Still, you have to keep testing. So you add it little by little. Okay, and now comes the part that is simply to shake it. And this seems to me to still be very liquid. One notices that this is liquid. It needs to be a bit thicker. So we keep adding more magnesium. Okay, so we grab it again, close it, and let's shake it, as they say. And I'm going to leave a little magnesium aside here, because if suddenly I add too much magnesium because I didn't calculate well and it becomes too thick, I can improve it by adding back the leftover alcohol to get the texture I really want. And here, it still feels liquid. We need to add more, and we shake it again. And there you can already feel that it's starting to get a bit thick, but it seems to me that it still needs more magnesium. And there it's already becoming relatively thick, okay? And what you can do, shake it again, is to keep testing it. I take some, put a little, and it seems to me that yes, it's already getting there. Let's see how it's turning out. Why? Alcohol? Because alcohol has a low evaporation point, so it tends to, as you see, evaporate very quickly and leaves me with the magnesium. There it's coming along. I think it's almost at the right point, but I want it just a little bit thicker, just a little bit more. And there, I think it's definitely good now. I'm absolutely going to touch it again. And yes, now it has the thickness that I definitely wanted to have. Okay? And done. Perfect. It's the consistency that I really wanted. Well then, guys, here I made about 300 cc of a liquid magnesium. Afterwards, what I can do is transfer this to one that has a smaller hole, to pour it like this, or use this, and that's up to you. But now, definitely, the magnesium turned out just the way I wanted. Very good, very good. I liked it. All right, guys, just alcohol that you find at a pharmacy, magnesium that you can find anywhere, preferably in powder form, and your liquid magnesium. Perfect consistency, and cheap. So there you have it, your liquid magnesium for when you need it. Remember, guys, to give me a like, please. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll see many more videos like these. So, guys, a hug. Bye-bye.